Hey everyone, and welcome to Zoom on Technology. Today, we are jumping right into a massive shift that's happening in the world of cybersecurity. A technology that was once hyped as the ultimate solution is, well, it's fading away. We're talking about the end of XDR, and we're going to break down exactly why it's happening.
Wow, that is a huge statement, right? But you know what? It's pretty much the new reality. So that leads us to the big questions. Why is this happening? And maybe more importantly, what's going to replace it? Let's get into it.
Okay, so to really get why this is such a big deal, we got to rewind a little bit. We need to look at what things were like before XDR even showed up. And honestly, the cybersecurity world was, well, it was a mess, a total mess. Think of it like that one junk drawer you have at home. You know the one, it's just crammed with all these different gadgets and none of them work together.
And this gives you a picture of the absolute chaos companies were dealing with. You had threats popping up all over the place, on your employees' laptops, hiding in the network, lurking in the cloud. And what was the solution back then? Well, it was to just buy more stuff, dozens of different tools that couldn't talk to each other. So your security teams, they could never see the full story of an attack. It was like they were trying to solve a massive puzzle, but with half the pieces missing. Just impossible.
So, right into the middle of all this chaos, this hero swoops in. And that hero is called XDR, which, by the way, stands for Extended Detection and Response. The big promise of XDR was that it would be like this master detective, right? It could finally connect all the clues from all those separate tools and give everyone one single clear picture of what was really going on.
So yeah, to put it really simply, XDR's entire job was to unify everything. It was supposed to listen to all the little alerts, the whispers coming from your laptops, from your network, from your cloud apps, and then it was smart enough to figure out when all those little separate whispers were actually part of one big problem. That was the whole goal, that single unified view.
And this is really what made XDR so appealing. It made four huge promises. First, it was going to make alerts better, connect all those weak little signals to find the real attacks. Second, it promised to cut down on all the noise. Just use automation to reduce the crazy volume of alerts. Third, it would centralize everything, making life way easier for security teams. And finally, it would speed up the response, letting them share info instantly to stop attacks in their tracks. On paper, it sounded absolutely perfect.
But, as you've probably guessed by the title of this explainer, the story doesn't end there. Yeah, despite all that incredible promise, the time of standalone XDR is, well, it's coming to an end. The king is fading, and a totally new chapter is about to start.
So what happened? What changed? If XDR was such a brilliant idea, why on earth is it fading away? Okay, so here's the twist, and this is the most important part to get. XDR isn't failing because it was a bad idea. It's disappearing because it was too good of an idea. Seriously, all the huge security players, the big companies, they saw how great it was and basically said, hey, we can do that too. So they just started building all those awesome XDR features directly into their own much bigger platforms. And you know what? Customers love this. Because let's be real, everyone wants simpler, all-in-one tools. So now XDR isn't really a separate product you go out and buy anymore. It's just becoming a feature that you expect to be there. So, with XDR getting absorbed into these bigger systems, there are two major types of platforms that are basically rising up to take its place. Let's meet the new bosses, the successors to the throne. Okay, first up we've got the SIEM. The absolute easiest way to think about a SIEM is like the security team's central command center. Its whole job is to pull in everything. We're talking logs, data, you name it, from all across the entire organization. It's all about getting that super high-level, bird's-eye view of everything happening in security. And then, the second successor is something called the Workspace Security Platform, or WSP. So if the SIEM is that top-down command center, the WSP is more like a powerful personal shield. It's designed to protect everything a modern employee actually uses day to day, their device, their identity, their apps, and all their data, all bundled together. It's a much more, human-focused approach to security. So you can kind of see the two different directions this is going, right? On one path, you've got the SIEM vendors. They're basically taking all of XDR's smart analytics and plugging it into their already massive pools of data. Then, on the other path, you have the endpoint security companies, the EDR vendors, and they're just expanding their reach. They're pulling in more and more data sources like identity and cloud info and using their existing tech to build out these workspace security platforms. But here's the thing. At the end of the day, both paths lead to the exact same place. XDR just gets absorbed. Okay, so what does all this shifting and consolidating actually mean for businesses? for the people who are actually trying to protect them. Is this new world really going to be simpler and safer?
Look, if there's one single thing you take away from all this, it's this word right here: consolidation. We are moving away from that old world of having dozens of separate little tools, and we're moving toward a future where we have just a few really powerful, integrated platforms that can do pretty much everything.
And hey, this isn't just some theory we're talking about. The numbers totally back it up. Check this out. By 2029, it's predicted that almost a third of all mid-sized organizations will be using a single converged workspace security platform. So yeah, this shift isn't just coming, it's already happening. And it is happening fast.
And the goal behind all of this, it's actually pretty simple. It's all about getting what's called holistic protection, which just means complete protection, and being able to manage all of your security policies from one single platform. What does that mean in the real world? Well, for security teams, it means way less complexity, fewer tools to juggle, and fewer headaches. And for the organization as a whole, it just means better, more complete protection. It's a win-win.
And that really brings us to the final and I think most important question you need to ask yourself. As the world of cybersecurity continues to change so fast, you really got to look at your own setup and ask, is our security strategy built on yesterday's hero, or are we ready for tomorrow's platform? All right, that's all we have for this explainer. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.